That was
Hey everyone. How's everyone doing there? Ah, Michael just showed up too. Cool. So, let's run a quick little attendance here. Oh, I got my evil twin up in the Shield helicarrier. I got Keith Kronk. Got Bedtime Stories of Charles. And
he's not real.
He's not real.
Nope.
He's the monster under the bed.
Yep.
And then we got Manifestations of Imagination, who was supposed to try to make it up here, but I guess he's stuck at work. Got Lori Jean. And we got Ryan the Gamer.
Yeah, Gil?
Yeah.
If you're going to try and copy Will, you need to get Echo.
Echo.
There you go.
And Grumpy Gaming. T-Boar's here. And Blue
Kathy.
Healer. And especially now we get down here and we got Kathy, North Star Prepstetter.
We also have Second Star Survival just show up.
And Gunslinger Outdoors. All righty, guys. So, Will, I checked with Will. He's still out of it. Said go ahead and run it for him. So we're doing the Monday Night Roundtable in honor of Will.
Because, we all got to stick together.
Yeah. If we don't, we're all going to hang separately. Or stick separately. The thought for tonight's topic was when I saw on Facebook the picture that Will posted of himself in the hospital, and then he started making that little video talking about, guys, what happens? Something like this happens to you, and so, what is our plans if we are the ones getting sick, not just members of our family, whether it's some an appendicitis or tonsillitis or food poisoning or a broken leg, we've been out playing on the skateboard and we break a wrist. So that's the thought, for tonight's. And so guys in the side chat, please, think about it. And what is your plan in case you are the one that is incapacitated? And there goes all your plans on being prepared and everything. And now you have to rely on everybody else.
I have to break rank for one moment.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of got called out on my live stream the other night. Everybody forgot one semi-important show series.
What was that?
The Walking Dead.
Nah, that's fantasy, not fiction.
Well, we said prepping shows. What did we learn from it?
Yeah.
But that falls in line with this as well. What have we learned from that to apply it to the point where if we fall ill in some way, shape, or form, what are we going to do in order to make sure we have a continuity of our house?
Right.
Me, myself, if I get sick, I can't stop. I've got to stay up. I've got to stay moving. I can't afford to have a broken leg or appendicite or something like that. So I maintain my health as best I can, to make sure that my son's taken care of.
And as Gunslinger said out there, it depends on the SHTF, really. Well, originally I was thinking, I'm not considering HSTF to walk you any of that. I'm just talking about normal life.
Yeah, then right now, what would happen if you right now walked into your kitchen, stepped on a Lego, and you tried to hop backwards, twisted your knee to the point where you fell down and busted your hip? What then? Damn Legos anyway. I don't speak from experience on that. I've never broke a hip.
But I bet you stepped on a few Legos.
Actually, I stepped on one, so it caught me in just the way that it actually split my heel wide open.
Yeah.
That was fun for about 3 weeks. But again, what would you do right now if you fell and broke your hip? Who's going to take care of the bills? Who's going to take care of the family while you're laid up in the hospital and then at home convalescing for the, 10, 12 weeks, depending on your age and your current health. It could be upwards of 12 weeks or 14 weeks, at home after the 2 months in the hospital. Who's going to get you back and forth to physical therapy?
Yeah. That's right, Mondak. Legos will sneak up, and any other little toys will sneak up and get you. Right now, when I go out the door here to go downstairs, the other room upstairs here is where the kids have all their play toys and stuff, and they just got back to all their little cars. They're not Hot Wheels, but they're the bigger plastic ones, the bigger wheels, and they're everywhere. And if you're not looking right, your foot goes.
Oh, we have a new one. Making lemonade from lemons. Hello.
Hey, there's you. Yep. That's one of the ones from over on the homesteading channels.
Ah, okay. Welcome. Uh-oh.
And on Kathy's. And on Kathy's. And the Stevers homestead. And,
we scared one of them off already.
Oh. We lost one.
Anthony ran away.
Oh. Yeah, he's back. Got a problem?
Press the wrong button.
Internet, huh?
No, I pressed the wrong button. I decided to try to click off on something, and fat fingered it.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, I'm in a position probably better than most people. I'm just because of the timing of everything. I have retired. And so.
No, that doesn't mean he got vulcanized.
No, but it means if something happens to me, everybody's all for the last year has been used to me not having to go to a job, all the time. I just putter around here, work on stuff. And my wife is still the C103. All right, how you doing?
Yeah, so I had another one.
And so my wife, who's the accountant, who will take care of everything else, and all my passwords are on a special password protected document, and she has a copy on a thumb drive, and I have a thumb drive of all her passwords on it. So we've got each other covered that way. But anything happens up here to me, I'll be in that like breaking hip. I'll be in the hospital, and I'll have to see about get my laptop brought into me and the Wi-Fi so I can do a live from the hospital.
We'll send you a half a dozen white roses.
No. I want black roses.
No.
Abby is my friend.
No black roses, no black orchids.
Those who don't know, the Abby I'm talking about is Abby Shuto off of NCIS, the goth forensic scientist.
Yeah, I knew you were an old guy. NCIS.
Hey, it's still on. It's still going.
I resemble that remark.
Everybody, Matlock's coming on at 4. Pipe down.
I don't think too many people were going to get that one.
Walker, Texas Rangers on. Shut up.
Or even worse, A-team.
A-team.
Pity the fool. So, guys out there,
I've been called many things, but never called out there.
Yeah. So, guys, if I fall over dead, then everybody's on their own. You should all be prepared. All right, Tibor, thanks.
That's why I have literature. If you haven't got it yet, go get it before they run out.
Yeah.
And go get it. I got mine today. That's the PPE kit from Doc Bones and Nurse Amy.
Yeah. Hive and Homestead. Hey, guys. bushcraft and RV life. Just joined us.
Did you catch the Heathstead?
The Heathstead. I mean, the Heathstead. Blah, 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 blah. Getting tongue tied here. So I'm watching. I got on this side of me. I got the YouTube stream going with the chat that I can read and comment in on. Then on the far side here, I got the Red Dragon data up, and then I got all the rest of you here and everything else there in front of me here.
So,
all right, second star.
Hurry back, but take your time. Don't rush and trip over that damn Lego right there. Oh, darn it. He caught it anyway.
Okay, Kathy. All right, here we go. Come on, computer. There it goes.
Yeah. There's been some very disappointing but revealing news released in the last 24 hours. Yeah. You will be thankful you did what you did.
Exactly. Even though the consulting physician for the airline industry says you don't need to wear gloves and masks. It only lives a very, very short while on the surfaces.
Okay, if y'all remember, what was it? 3, maybe 4 weeks ago when I said I'd seen a video.
We got it. We got a guest coming in, guys. A very special guest.
Oh,
here he is. There he is. There's the man, Will.
Hi guys.
How you doing?
I'm surviving a little bit. Still a little under the weather.
You didn't tell the wife you were alive, obviously, because she'd be standing behind you with the cast iron frying pan.
He's on a time limit. But yeah, everyone was asking when you're going to be coming back full time. So
I'm going to shoot for another week, you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Still feeling a little bit under the weather.
All righty.
We got you covered.
I just wanted to thank everybody for wondered when I was coming back. I want to thank you guys up there on the panel for taking care of my stuff for me while I'm gone.
Our pleasure.
Well, we'd have done it on your channel, but we didn't have your password to make everything look legit. So we just kind of winged it.
That's cool. That's all right, guys. I just wanted to stop in for a second. Still not feeling too hot, so.
Yeah.
Well, we're sending prayers out to you.
All right, guys. Keep up the good work. I'll be out here in the side chat, okay?
All righty.
All right.
All right. Back to where I was at. If y'all remember back when this
that
first
was
started,
the special guest I was talking about on the thing I put out there on the invitation earlier today, guys. I knew he was coming in for a couple of minutes.
And I said I'd seen a video where they said it was airborne. Well, the video was taken down, gone. History, I still can't find it. And earlier today, late last night, their time, they admitted, their Chinese officials admitted that this is now airborne. And it has been for a while. They just won't give a definitive timeline on it. But it also lives on surfaces for up to 10 days. And the incubation period can be as much as 24 days. And if you go back to my rationale of the incubation time, the disease time, and convalescing time, I said should be no less than 22 days, somebody to be quarantined. So I was only off by 2 days on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the information's finally starting to trickle out where we can show it to you guys and it's not being deleted within minutes.
But
aren't you glad you wore that mask, Kathy?
Mm-hmm. One of the important things that those in the know and those just chanting mantras say, wash your hands all the time, soap and water. You get home, wash your face. You're out in the field, Perel or Germex.
Something. Keep something with you on your purse, in your pocket.
Yeah.
When I walk to Walmart tomorrow, I'm taking the big bottle. I'm gonna take a shower in that stuff.
Yeah, and anytime you got a shopping cart, if they don't have the Perel wipes out there, get some of these, and you can carry them around yourself. Worst comes to worst, just regular alcohol wipes will work. I'm trying to
And
remember
yes, Reed.
the data on that. If you wipe it down with alcohol, the alcohol is there for a minute, and it's 70+% alcohol, it'll kill it.
No, 70+% alcohol. I said that wrong. Anyway, that's 140 proof, which will be expensive.
Yeah, but
One-
wood alcohol is 70%. Your regular rubbing alcohol.
Right. 70% rubbing alcohol is fine. 90% is preferred, or you can make a bleach mix, and it only needs to be a 1% bleach mix, hypochloride or whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
And I think it was
I'm sorry to hear that, Tibor.
a 0.5% hydrogen peroxide mix will kill it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Keith just fired up the hydrogen peroxide. So
Okay. You missed his earlier comment. Everything could be airborne. Depends on how far you can throw the body.
trebuchet,
Roman.
trebuchet, catapult, which takes us back to the medieval times when they used to toss plague bodies over the castle walls.
Mm-hmm.
Vinegar was not listed as something that
No.
would kill it.
No.
Acts a little bit different.
We'll send some extra prayers your way tonight, Tibor. If you didn't catch it, he said his wife has Graves' disease.
Yeah, I saw it. And somebody else was asking what Graves' disease was.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that red dragon in the room we're talking about right now, what else? What do you have in place in case you slip and fall, you get appendicitis, tonsillitis, major ear infection, root canal that puts you out for several days? Are you the main keeper of the family, the one that keeps all the prepping going? Are you the anchor?
Heck, I'm not the anchor. I'm the doggone whole ship. I can't.
Yeah.
Charles came home last week with the flu. So Friday, he stayed home in bed, slept almost the whole day. Thank God. There's nothing worse than a child who is irritable.
Mm.
And Saturday, I kept him in his room. I had the heat up, so he'd sweat it out a little bit. Saturday and today, he was feeling much better.
Yeah. I'm trying to see which one I'm going to... All right. So what do we got here? We're talking till...
Well, Reed, if we're going to talk about that, then something like this, let's get it so it sees, something like this, or the big book, which I have right here, and this one weighs a ton, are, for every one of us, I think everybody in our little group, at the very least, should have these two books. If you don't pick up any other books in the next 6 months, pick these up.
Yeah.
They are they're full of stuff I didn't even know. Of course, there's a lot I don't know. But hey, I'm just saying there's a lot in here I didn't even know. So I highly recommend it. And it's not just because they've been on my live stream and, whatever. They put a lot of time and effort in these books.
Yeah.
They're full of information. And if I could afford it, I'd send everybody one, but I can't. So please go get one. So you've got the information. Knowledge is power. And if you have the knowledge, you can help somebody else or instruct somebody else to help them survive. And I'll shut up.
Yeah, I like. Unfortunately, that antibiotics book is not on in a Kindle version yet. I have the one Kindle version that they do have. They're waiting for the other one to get fixed so they can. Once it's in Kindle version, then I'll get it as well. So, but it's more than just a SHTF situation. We're talking just daily life too. Yeah, go ahead. And unfortunately, when I'm driving from California to Idaho and back, stopping at the different places, there's always each trip 3 or 4 Adam Henrys that don't wash their hands when they use the restroom. And that's just totally disgusting. Thanks, Ryan.
I see it up to 16 now.
That's what I have is 16 too. Just jumped to 16.
For those who didn't catch it, Charles Bedtime Stories is actually me. It doesn't have the ability to put in links. So maybe Kathy will jump over and do it here in a minute. But their website is doomandbloom.net. And then there's a link on there for a store. Go to the store and you can find the books there.
Yeah.
And secret, if you get them off their website, they autograph them for you.
Ooh.
So if you want a signed autograph, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, that hasn't changed there. Oh yeah. Problem is when you're traveling 12 hours, you got to use a public restroom, or you have a chance to get cited for doing something in public.
Thank you, Kathy. Well, see, guys have it a little bit easier than women do when it comes to using the restroom for a quick in and out. Most of the time we can use our elbows and shoulders to walk in, and we'll have paper towels on our way out. But sometimes the girls' bathrooms aren't as accessible.
Yeah.
And therefore they are actually exposed to more.
All right, there we go.
And sadly, in some of them public restrooms, and it's just as bad for the men, but some of them women are just downright nasty.
That's what my wife says.
I've seen some pretty bad men's bathrooms in my time, but my mom, 2 years before my mom passed away, I took her with me out on the road. She wanted to go on vacation, so I let her ride with me in my truck when I went down to Dallas, Texas, and came back up through Kentucky. And we stopped at one rest area, and she came out and she said, "I'll wait until the next truck stop," because it was that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my mom used to complain all the time. My wife said, sometimes she goes in there, I had to stand again.
And that's bad. And the only question I have for those people, do you do that at home?
No, I've cleans up after me, or my mom cleans up after me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I got a dead chicken I'd like to slap him across the head with.
Dead chicken. I got a 6-pound blacksmith hammer I'd like to smack him with.
No, I want the dead chicken. That way they can get salmonella. That way they have to go home and do it at home.
That's oh, and those hand blowers. Oh, geez. Okay.
Do not use them. Nope. Don't.
New study came out on those hand blowers. They are worse than using paper towels because they blow the air around, which, as if you watch Mythbusters, prove there's fecal matter in the air, and it masturbates the situation.
Exasperates, not
exasperate. All right, you got it.
Gosh, there went Chore Channel. T-minus 12 seconds before YouTube shuts you down. Well, folks, it's been nice knowing y'all.
Yes, on Kathy's channel earlier, you guys didn't see Kathy's channel. That's North Star Prepstetter. Go back and review her live tonight. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't want to be living in dirty clothes all the time. Yeah.
Oh, she moved mountains. I didn't see her sneak in here.
Yep, I saw her.
She must have came through the trap door.
Hey, at least I got Lori laughing. That was a tongue twisted,
It was an
brain engaged, brain going full speed before I popped the clutch and engaged the mouth, or whatever, other way around. See, I did it again. I got it backwards.
That's okay. We'll just move forward anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah. I know that before my brother got taken out by an illegal alien drunk driver, you know, he had several plans in place for different things, and had his two oldest boys lined up to go over and take care of their mom and him if something happened to him where he was injured or whatever. Of course, he was also the guy that went when he had to have 2 root canals, told the dentist, don't worry about it. I had an ear infection so bad it ruptured the eardrum and everything else, and went without the Novocaine to get his root canal done.
Did you see what Ontario homesteading said?
Where I miss it's back up there, something isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to make Canadians laugh. Hey, it's easy to make Californians cry. They got Governor Nuisance.
All hail nuisance. Oh, sorry.
But yeah, the or as we used to call him back before he was governor, we used to call him Lieutenant Governor Gay Van Nuisance. Yes, very important. My mom and sister used to call it a PTA bath. I'll let you figure out the acronym.
It's also in your nose. So if you're one of those booger pickers, you might want to watch out where you put your fingers.
Yeah.
Ontario, he's trying really hard. He's trying.
Yeah, he wants to run for president. However, I'm afraid that somebody's going to go off the deep end and go find themselves in a library on him. Well, that's it. That's the other thing. All right. What if it's nothing? You know, how many people out there go skiing or snowboarding or water skiing or you know, other type of activities and stuff? My sister got thrown off a horse and broke her ankle. I think it was her ankle. That was 50 years ago. Actually more than that. But the thing is, you know, things could happen to you during, you know, it's supposed to be a nice, fun activity, and now you're laid up for a while. You know.
Ouch, Reed.
I think if there's one thing we should all learn here, is to make sure that we have some money stashed away for a couple of weeks, at least a couple of months, the better. Because if you really look at the reason why the flu, the regular old flu, spreads the way it does, especially in certain communities, cities, is because mostly your food workers who don't get time off from work have no choice but to work to put food on the table for their families. So if they have the flu, they're going to work, and they're going to spread it to everybody unless their manager tells them to go home. So you're rolling dice when you're going out to eat in all these little places with lower income workers because they can't afford to miss a day of work. So the best advice I can give you is to make sure you have enough money stashed away to where you don't have to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to give you experience, when I worked for Waffle House as a master grill op, we were told you work rain, snow, sleet, shine, sick, power on or power off. It don't matter. You're in there cooking for people because the grills are gas. So even with the powers out, the gas grills still work even though there's no ventilation. So you're sucking in that smoke and coughing and sneezing, and you're told to work anyway. You're told you're not allowed to take time off. And if you request time off and they say no and you don't show up, you're fired.
And unfortunately, that's how a lot of food places are. I've worked in fast food and everything, and they don't care if you're sick. A lot of times, especially when it comes to like those places, they always have bad management because they can't really keep good management because they don't pay enough. So they don't want to send you home because that means more work for them. So if you have the flu, you're going to be working. So be careful, especially this time of year, ordering things like salads that are made by hand and are not cooked. Because those things, all it takes is one cough, and congratulations, you are now patient zero at that restaurant. So heads up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've heard several cases like that where, somebody came to work that was, sick, should not have been at work, and it was as a either as a cook or a food server, and made hundreds of people sick.
That's why I like being a master grill up at Waffle House. I work third shift, which is a 10-hour shift, and the master grill up's the one that's in charge. There's no manager working that time of night. So I just tell my servers, you know what? You're sick. Go home. I got this. I'll take care of the whole store by myself. And then I get chewed out by management in the morning for doing it by myself. But it's like, look, I'm not going to have them making my customers sick so they don't come back and eat food for the next 3-4 weeks and my sales numbers go to hell. I need my customers in here every night that come in, so I'll take care of it.
Yeah. There is a lot of bad stuff.
When it comes down to the things that you can do, especially during this time of year, a simple look around. If you're at a place and you see some of the people working are not healthy, don't eat them. You can do preventative maintenance on yourself by making sure you eat things like oranges, strawberries, blueberries, things with vitamin C. There's a reason why traditionally human beings get sick during the wintertime, because things with vitamin C are usually dead, especially depending on what part of the country you live in. So if you don't have access to citrus fruit, thank God that we are in a country with airplanes and trains and all that stuff, so we can get these things to the far north. But vitamin C traditionally is hard to find in the wintertime. That's why a lot of people get sick. So if you can, make sure you take a supplement, eat your citrus fruits. Berries have a very high amount of vitamin C. And, obviously one of the first things that's going to come out in the springtime is things high in vitamin C. So take advantage of it.
Hey, Reed, can you put the link to that video in the chat? There's the other thing here is vitamin D is also important this time of year because there's less sunshine and people spending less time outdoors, so they have less time exposed to the sun to pick up vitamin D naturally, and they cut back on some of the dark greens that have vitamin D in it and stuff. They don't eat as much.
Oh, you don't want to go to a place that cans vegetables. Trust me. I've picked up canned peas. I've picked up canned corn, green beans. And you really don't want to eat them, not even from Jolly Green Giant or any of them guys after you've seen the way those things are packed. And that goes just as much for the frozen vegetables as well, because they're done the exact same way. Just one's frozen, one's canned.
Yeah, I know I'm not North Ontario Homestead. It's just one of those things where if I have trouble finding some things that are vitamin C, I know y'all do. I can go out there and pick up some, wild edibles that are still around. Sorrel is usually here all wintertime, but when it comes down to it, you really don't have very many options except a spruce tea, pine needle tea, and that works in a pinch, sure, but it's much easier for me to be like, hey, I got some dried berries I still have. Just be proactive, stash that kind of stuff to the side for when this time of year happens, because yes, if you don't go outside and get that vitamin D, your body, especially if in very north latitudes where you have 6 hours of sun, maybe. It's not strong enough to even, it's not even strong enough to make a reaction in your body, really. So you got to eat like mushrooms to be able to get your vitamin D or supplement it. That's why they fortify foods with vitamin D these days.
That's why the only kind of milk I buy is vitamin D milk. Charles's doctors, you need to put him on skim milk. No, there's no sun right now, so he's drinking vitamin D. Thanks. They look at me like I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's why behind me today I got my mail shipment of vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B12. The vitamin D and B12 will be put in storage. The vitamin C I'll take because anybody who smokes, you should take twice as much vitamin C because you're literally depleting your body of vitamin C every time you take a drag of a smoke. I know that's why I have extra vitamin C in the house. I'm working on trying to quit. It's not going too well right now, but I'm working.
Well, I hope you make it.
You drink some high carbonated drinks, then you're going to be deficient in calcium because your body has to put the calcium into your stomach to lessen the acid. So you need calcium with vitamin D to absorb it, just like you need iron. In order to get iron efficiently in you, you have to have vitamin C. So especially you ladies out there that have trouble with low iron, you need vitamin C to absorb iron. Just kind of one of those things. Just pay attention.
Yeah, I was shaking my head at what Tibor said there. Everybody laugh at Tibor. All right. Anthony Reed wanted you to talk about raw milk.
Hey, raw milk is good if you can get it. Some states, I know a lot of states out there are trying to make having raw milk legal. There are still states, especially scattered throughout the Midwest, that absolutely not. You can't even consider it. I know places like Georgia and South Carolina, it's both legal. However, you cannot transport over state lines. And you also have to make sure wherever you buy it, it's marked. It's like one of the most regulated things we have here. You figure like guns, drugs, whatever, be more hardcore regulated than raw milk. But no, raw milk is like, yeah.
Straight from the udder.
Yeah. Because people can traditionally people got very, very, very sick from raw milk. It's one of those things where we didn't realize pasteurization came out in the 1880s. So before that, you had constant deaths from bad milk. So it was like a godsend back then, but we lost all the benefits to having raw milk. And obviously all those vitamins given to the calf, we are losing that good beneficial bacteria, the lactic acid, to stop bad bacteria and disturbing the gut. So that's just something like that.
Now, I'm conflicted on this subject because for my junior and senior year in high school, and then several years afterwards, we had 2 cows that we had to milk. They were Guernsey Jersey mixes. And we got probably a gallon and a half to 2 gallons per milking. So that was 3 to 4 gallons a day. Lots of nice whipping cream. Oh man, the whipping cream on a gallon jug was a quarter of it was super, super heavy whipping cream. But at the end of milking the cows, my hands were curling because we didn't have a milk machine because they had small teats, and you couldn't do it regularly. You had to strip each time. So basically, you're going like this on it, trying to stretch it, to get the milk out. Yeah. Oh man, I used to have big old muscles built up on the back of my things from squeezing together. But yeah, and no vacation. So yeah, I'm conflicted on raw milk and having cows. Well, but we had friends though that would buy the milk from us, the excess milk, all the time, and
Hey,
I
Jay.
think one of the main things. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to tell Jay he is crazy, but that's okay.
I think one of the main things that gives raw milk a bad rap is because we have to remember we are in a capitalist society where the almighty dollar wins all. And there are people that give these cows hormones, or they not anymore, but feed certain types of feed and grains to make them produce more milk. Well, when they produce more milk like that and they're getting overused, that milk, especially if not kept, I'll say the milk, but the udders aren't kept clean, then you can get some hardcore lactitis, puffing from the udder, and that's what really gets people sick. But we are in a day and age now where we can test batches very effectively with like paper strips and all that stuff. So it's really not Obviously it all depends on where you get it from, and you're kind of really putting your trust into a farmer. But the benefits of raw milk, in my opinion, are there. However, I like eating, or I like drinking, heavy cream and skimming it off myself. So if I can find it.
Ontario, for farmers, that's rated G. Not even PG, G, because even the kids go out there and learn how to milk when they're little.
Yeah, I spent enough time on farms when I was a kid.
Yeah, Tibor, let me put his up there real quick here. Those days could come back really quick. Yeah. But that's another subject for a different day.
Yeah. So is taking and cleaning off the feed trough and bending over underneath the electric fence to clean the drain out and then stand up forgetting there's an electric fence behind you in the middle of summer, sweating like a stuck pig over a barbecue pit. You stand up and you squeal like a pig for about 3 seconds before you fall back on your face and everybody's laughing at you. That was not fun.
When I think I was about 7 years old, I walked into a hot wire.
Ouch.
Because my parents moved it because they were changing the way where the horses were supposed to be, and they moved it on me. And I was walking from the one barn over to where the pigs were at. Well, now the hot wire went between there, and whap! Oh yeah,
Wakes you right up.
Yeah, Rita brought up how to pasteurize yourself. So if you wanted to do it, and whenever you're actually making cheese, as I'm starting to slowly do that, I'm starting to learn how to make cheese. They do the same thing whenever you're brewing beer, to where even if the milk you buy is already pasteurized, they want to make sure the only cultures you give that milk are what you give it. So they make you pasteurize again. So that's basically 175 to 180 for a certain amount of time. You don't want to go over that because you're going to boil off the milk and all kinds of bad stuff's going to happen. But that you want to make sure you have a thermometer and a stainless steel pot to be able to do that. Because the best part about obviously stainless steel is it doesn't allow things to grow like something else would.
Except for coronavirus.
The dragon.
It
lives on everything now.
Stainless steel has always been one of those things that just stops bacteria, except it stops them from multiplying on itself, but it can still multiply in its little thing if you give it the right cocktail. They've actually done research with cheesemakers. I can't remember. I saw it on a documentary that do microbiology that use old school wood methods, and they can't figure out why the wood method is cleaner than stainless steel. Well, come to find out, the lactic acid that's been in the wood for 120 years actually kills the E. coli versus the stainless steel, which doesn't kill anything.
Copper would do similar.
Yeah,
copper.
Yeah, one would think copper would do it.
Yeah.
Copper is antimicrobial, but so is technically stainless steel. But copper, you also want to watch out by heating it, because obviously you can, over time, ingest too much copper and hurt yourself.
Yeah, there is such a thing as copper poisoning.
Yeah. Copper toxicity.
Hey, y'all got me. All right. See you later, Keith.
Take care. God bless.
All right. There are probably at least a couple dozen videos on how to pasteurize milk out there. How to do it yourselves for small farmer setting. You have just 1 or 2 cows. Yeah, that's one of the things we used to do when we had our cows. We would we'd go out there. We had 2 buckets: the empty bucket and the small bucket with a bleach solution in it, and we would wipe the cow down beforehand, milk, and when we were done, then we had some moisturizer. In fact, it was this stuff here.
Udder butter.
Yeah, we'd Cornhuskers, yeah. Put on the cow to, counteract with the bleach, the drying effect of the bleach.
All right, I got it right here on this book, How to Make Cheese Making. Martha over at Old School Prepper turned me on to it, so I went and bought it. And yes, in the comments was correct. It's 145, stirring occasionally. 145 for exactly 30 minutes. That's how you pasteurize milk. So it was not 180, it was 145.
Yeah.
See, I just learned something.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Keyboards use corn huskers. All right.
Just wanted to make sure we put that out there. That way we can all walk away being better people now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jay. I don't think any one of us up here on the panel can help you figure that one out. That I am staying away from personally. I mean, if Anthony wants to try, he can, but I don't think so.
Over there. We didn't have bag bomb. My dad used this all the time. We all used it because my brother and I worked with concrete and stuff anyway. So we had cases of this stuff.
All right. Will.
Good night.
All right. Well, take it easy.
Uh-oh. Let's talk about prepping made it in here.
Oh, Tyler's here. There goes the neighborhood.
But you want to talk about milking the wrong animal? There was a funny movie with was it Doris Day? Had Rock Hudson in it, and a couple others on it. Just lost the name of the movie, but it was back in this, back then, and she'd been married several times, and she was married to Dick Van Dyke, was in the movie. She wound up getting so rich by marrying these guys, helping them get wealthy, and some accident happens and they die. It wasn't her fault either, but one of them died because he went out to milk the cow and didn't milk the cow because he had too much to drink the night before.
You have started an issue, and it is all your fault, Gil.
Yeah. Well, I can start another issue here.
Uh-oh.
I could throw up that little map I have over here. Nah, we don't need to look at that right now.
No sense of putting a depressing scene out.
Yeah. So, but what, does anybody out there in the chat have something set up? Have you guys discussed yet with your significant other and your family members?
Mine ran away a few years ago and is no longer with us, so I don't have that option.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to sit here and be quiet for about the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just go make me a pot of coffee. You guys chit-chat.
Yeah. So does anybody actually started to plan and work up, have a backup plan in case they are incapacitated by one way or another and everyone else in the family has to pick up the slack? You think everyone thinks they're invincible, or at least like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. But
nothing could be further from the truth, especially if you are in I wouldn't even say SHTF scenario, but if you happen to just eat something bad or drink bad water one time, because getting a stomach bug, I don't care who you are, you're not going to be able to do anything for like at least 24 hours, unless you're one of those like super, miraculous people. But things are most likely going to be coming out of both ends, and you're going to be basically incapacitated, and you will rely on somebody to have to pick up your slack. So even if you are the paterfamilias, the one in the household, and if you are by yourself, you have to be prepared for that, because things like that can happen. And in those situations, I highly suggest Pedialyte. Get your electrolytes back up so you can still do stuff, because if you've ever been to the point where you've been so violently ill from throwing up and the other side, you will lose salt fast and you will cramp. And if you get to that point, you like literally cannot do stuff. So, I could barely get up my stairs the last time I had a stomach issue. So, being able to make do with yourself, yes, but you need to make sure that your significant other or somebody in the family is prepared to pick up your slack and help you.
Yeah. The one of the things that was interesting at scout camp when some of the scouts decided they were going to go outside the boundaries of the camp, upriver, and why they got past the point of the water intake for the scout camp, and they decided they were going to pee in the river. Fortunately, one of the boys got back that didn't pee in the river, was with them, got back and told somebody, hey, they went up to this point and they're all peeing in the river. Is that anything wrong with that? And they quickly shut off the intake water and drained the line from the intake down to the storage tank and threw some pure bleach into the water in the storage tank to, take care of anything that was in there. And they, took about 2 days to purge that line before they would start pulling water from the river again.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing around with bad water, and definitely teach people to, not screw over their fellow man by doing that. Some people just don't know. Kids, hey, they might not know, but
yeah,
there's no excuse. Yeah, that's why you don't give chickens onions or garlic, because it makes the eggs taste funky.
Yeah. All right, Kathy had family come in to help her when she was down. It's still hard to get any work though. Yeah, it is. I mean, when you're down and out, things do not get done. And if you're on a homestead, yeah, it's kind of hard to get help to come in. Yeah, there's one on the cholera there. Yeah, that's one of the things we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, cholera, especially. I mean, there's really good, quick videos on cholera and how it reproduces and how you can fix yourself up by making homemade IVs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I highly suggest you finding that. It's like the last time I saw was like a little cartoon that would show kids in third world countries. You don't even need to speak English, because they need to know that kind of stuff. So.
Okay, I got to step out for a second here. Reed, Anthony, can you keep it going for a second?
Not a problem. All right, yeah. When it comes down to cholera, a lot of people aren't aware of it, and in like first world countries, because it's basically been, we've moved past that point, I guess you could say. But cholera is basically having a dysentery times 10. So you want to make sure that it can be spread by handshake, coughing, whatever, and it's cycles its way through, because the bad stuff coming out of you gets back into the water source. Someone else drinks the water, and it kills people very fast, because when you're very dehydrated, unfortunately, you can't really do anything. And if you don't have an IV ready, you could get rid of all your water, because you can't keep water down. That's why it gets so dangerous. Because a lot of times, whenever you try to drink that water, even if you are with clean water, you're still going to throw it back up. And that's where things start to get super, super dangerous. So you want to make sure that if you are in an area with a lot of people next to a water source, and you do have to drink from that water source, you are prepared to boil and boil and boil.
Yeah. I just had a little medical emergency here. There was some broken glass downstairs. My daughter came up. She had a little shard in her foot. So I had to take it out. Yes, nice. Dave, you were going to say.
Well, you guys were talking about cholera, and I opened up my little book here. And make sure I don't click nothing. I didn't catch. Did you cover everything on it? I only caught the last part where you're talking about, what it can do.
Well, I'm just saying, I just basically hit the highlight points. You want to make sure you boil water, but a lot of people aren't aware that, not only from handshakes and whatnot, but it's going to cycle through your body. And if you are not taking proper precautions by having an outhouse far enough away from the water source, gathering water cleanly, you're going to infect everybody else. And there's a lot of people around in highly populated areas. Cholera is everywhere. So you want to make sure that you are washing your hands and you are boiling your water. And even then, you still got to watch out. And I believe there's a way to make a homemade IV. I don't know if you have that up there.
I don't see that on this page, but it does give some pretty important information.
Go for it.
Victims often complain of leg cramps. The onset can start with rapid onset of diarrhea and vomiting within as few hours or up to 2 days of infection. Somebody untreated, in other words, they don't get any treatment at all, the death rate is 60%. Aggressive efforts to rehydrate the patient, however, drops the death rate to 1%. Antibiotic therapy with doxycycline or tetracycline seems to shorten the duration. So again, that kind of go back on, if you're worried about that thing happening, getting some fish mocks or something like that. I can't remember exactly which ones they were. Again, you have to go back, and Doc talked about that in that first live stream he did with us. So
it's in his book too. He lists them in the book. Quick question: homemade ORT recipes. What is ORT?
Oral rehydration therapy.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hey, Howie.
Howie's in the house.
What's up, Howie? Yeah, basically you're going to be looking at a water salt sugar solution. I don't remember the actual proportions off the top of my head because I don't want to say it and I'd be wrong. But yes, you want to make sure you're getting electrolytes. That's why they say drink something like Gatorade. However, the problem with Gatorade is it gets that slime and you can't swallow as effectively. So a Pedialyte solution is about the perfect balance if you have access to it. They also make dry Pedialyte that you can mix in with water to help you out.
And that probably stores a lot longer.
Yes, yeah. It does.
I actually have several packets of that.
Yeah.
Mainly for long treks where there's no,
All right, Howie, that's just wrong. That is just so wrong. He's eating elk steak.
You did not watch his video today where he was going through all them doggone goat cheeses he had?
Yeah, I saw that.
I got so hungry I had to break out a bowl of cauliflower.
See you later, Ontario.
Yeah. On the fish mocks, like Doc Bones was saying, you got to. He did the research to find out which ones are actually the same thing as the human moxicillin. Basically, they just at the factory they split it off without making any difference to it, and some have the same labeling. I mean, it's the same pill. It's exactly the same pill, but it's just sent off for fish.
Well, you also want to pay attention to certain types of cyclines, doxy, tetra, because they have different half-lives and expirations. And remember, if you watched Hoople's video recently, I would say a couple months ago, where he was talking about, and he showed the graphs of all the actual studies, tetracycline was one of the ones that has a hard expiration date. You do not want to take that afterwards because it can become actually like toxic. So pay attention.
Yeah, Howie, Will was on here for about 5 minutes. And then he was in the side chat till about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 10 minutes ago. Yeah. He's going to be going at least another week before he tries coming back on doing anything.
Oh, Reed, they already did. They already took them out of 90% of the stores. You can no longer go to Walmart and buy them. You can no longer get them at Petco, at least the one right here next to me. Can't get them there either. It's all special order stuff from Petco.
Yeah.
Because several years ago, there was a big hubbub about it, and too many people were spouting off on YouTube. And, well, now we don't have easy access anymore.
Yeah, YouTube's also the reason
about
why.
$10 a bottle.
YouTube's also the reason why things at Goodwill now cost way more money because people were saying all their cool finds they found that cost little to no money, and now they're like, oh well, we should up the prices.
Yeah. There was a pet a fish store that that I used to get my koi fish at, and they had everything there, but it's been about 8 years since I got rid of my koi.
Did they taste good?
No, I sold some of them, gave the others away just to, because we wanted to put in some more apple trees and citrus trees in the backyard. So the koi pond went bye-bye.
I see. Now, if you still had them, you could start your own hydroponics.
I wouldn't be using koi. Actually, I have a friend back in California who does aquaponics, and he uses tilapia for the fish, and then he grows. He has 5 or 6 different vegetables he grows in the water. Watercress is the main one he uses, and then he has is it water asparagus? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And
Watercress
something else.
is good.
Yeah, and yeah.
Well, it's a good way to get your greens. Here in my state of South Carolina, at the fair every year, they have a big exhibit about aquaponics.
Mm-hmm.
They trailers and everything, and they say tilapia is one of the better ones because it doesn't require any maintenance and they grow fast and they reproduce kind of fast. So they're kind of one of the best ones.
Yeah, they're the rabbits of the homesteading water scene.
Yeah, you want to avoid those when you're buying them from a store because most likely they're coming from China and they're fed human crap. But if you grow your own, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Eggers and bacon. Hello.
Because tilapia is the one that actually has omega-6 fatty acids in it, not omega-3s. So it's the inflammation causing fatty acid, not the inflammation reducing one. So people eating that are trying to figure out why they're not getting the benefits of fish oil because tilapia doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mama Z even snuck in. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, got to close that trap door, man.
I thought she was in here at the beginning.
No, she just said, "Hey, y'all." Using that good old Southern twang.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with Southern twang.
No, I'm not saying there is. Back when I was about 24, I used to go to Dallas Fort Worth a lot. Stopped at the Rockwall Trucks 76 truck stop, and I made friends with a waitress there, and she's well old enough to be my grandma. And it got to the point where every week when I went down there, she'd see my truck pull in. She'd put in an order for country fried steak, eggs, mashed potatoes, and 2 dinner rolls when I pulled up to the fuel pump. So by the time I was done fueling the truck, my dinner was sitting at a table for me, and I didn't have to pay for it.
I love Southern hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course, growing up in the South and going to places like Washington, D.C., and trying to be nice and hold doors for people, and then having women yell at you, "I can get my own door."
Yeah, and they look at you and say,
Okay.
"Sexist." What?
Yeah.
It's trying to be nice, It's the way I was raised.
Yeah, I'm
You
from
were
the
raised wrong.
And my grandma would have beat me with a belt if I didn't try to hold it open for you.
My mom would chase me around with a frying pan.
Whoa. Mincy's garden had a tornado about 8 miles from her earlier tonight.
Well, I'm glad you're still here with us. Hopefully nobody's injured. There's very little damage. Well, when it comes to drinking out of a stream, knowing how to make your own charcoal filter for water is a very big benefit.
And
yes, it is.
There's another little benefit to what the backwoods Southern gentlemen used to make with those copper coils and the little fire going on. You can sanitize water.
Sure.
You fill water that way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, distilling is great, especially if you're ever trying to figure out how to do it with like salt water. It's perfect for that. And there are some things, obviously some organic chemicals like Roundup and whatnot, that will turn into steam with water. So you're not going to get rid of it. But being able to do both, having a charcoal filter and boil,
should take care of 99.9% of anything.
Should.
Yeah, someone was talking about it. Yeah, you do the distilling first, and you do the charcoal filters and the other filters afterwards, because the distilling removes most of the stuff, and then the charcoal. Huh?
I'd go vice versa. That way, the charcoal, you're not gunking up your distillation equipment with sand and muck and crap and whatever. The charcoal filter will take most of that, especially the organic crap, out. So all you're doing is just boiling water.
Yep. Big rocks, medium rocks, little rocks, sand, charcoal filter down into a bottle. Then take the bottle when it's done draining and boil it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand when you make a charcoal filter. I would highly advise everybody do it at least once in their life. It's not like some of these videos and channels show it. Like I remember the King of Random did a video showing how he did it one time and the water came out spick and span clean. And the first thing I want to do is just like, BS. There's no way. You have to break in that filter. The filter takes a few times of cycling through before it even comes close to being clean. It looks gunky. It is clean because the germs are absorbed by the charcoal, but it's still murky because that sand has to break in. So just keep that part.
Yeah.
If you ever want to have a good Saturday to try to practice making a filter, do it.
And you can still pick up activated charcoal filters in a paper bag, as well as the regular activated charcoal at Walmart.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go out and burn your own logs to do it.
Yeah. Well, there were several videos out there, and they went into great detail about the proper way to create charcoal that you can use. And the best charcoal they said to use is coconut charcoal. So
I make my own charcoal out of whatever I have over here. I use hardwoods, most of the time hickory, and it works out great. If you're curious, just go on my channel. It's like way back at the beginning, but you can make your own charcoal and filter using like a popcorn tin can. That's what I did from Christmas time. It's really easy, and all you gotta do is just pulverize it really small. The smaller, the better.
Yeah. Okay, let me pull something else up here and get there. It goes. My youngest was wanting to build something here. Did it still have it in here? Come on, down. There we go. So there's activated a 4-pound bag of activated carbon charcoal, $17 on Amazon. All right, that's the one type, 20 by 50 mesh coconut shell granular activated charcoal, 55-pound sack for $149.
Youch.
But that's 55 pounds. That's a lot of filtering you can do with that.
Yeah, that should last you a couple of years.
Yeah. So, this is some of the stuff on a food grade activated charcoal powder, bulk 2-pound bag. That's $24. So this says it's for fish tanks. The difference between the two of them, I don't know how much the difference there is really, because fish are very sensitive sometimes. So anyways, guys, do your own research now. I give you an idea where to go and what to look for. But yeah, the coconut shell granulated activated charcoal is there, 55. That's $3 a pound. That's cheaper than any of those than the other ones over there. Of course, the price just dropped on it 2%, so now's the time to get it.
Hey, Sonny.
Yeah, just
yeah.
Just remember that when you make you can make charcoal. I just wanted to put that out there that charred wood is not charcoal. So just so we're all on the same page. A lot of bad information gets thrown around. Oh, the way you make charcoal is by burning wood then throwing water on it. No, that's how you make charred wood. Charcoal is when you make wood turn into carbon by completely draining it of the oxygen, and it burns all the pre-combustibles out there. So the only thing left is carbon. That's what charcoal is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, Mimsy. Or sorry, Anna. She put out your the link to your video there, Anthony.
Thank you so much, Mimsy.
All right. Here's the good question.
Mm-hmm.
It depends when you're gathering the rainwater. First rain of the season? Heck no. Because the roof is all covered with bird crap and dust and months of stuff. You know, the first couple rains, you don't want to be drinking the rainwater. Now it's great to use on your it's great to use on your plants, but if you have another source of rainwater, another source of drinking water than rainwater, I would use that. I would use like the rainwater for flushing the toilet, watering the plants, that stuff. But there are some serious videos out there on the dangers of rainwater, and then also how to filter it so you can use it. But then you got to have that 55-pound bag of, activated charcoal. But yeah, they were all the videos I saw, all of them, without fail, said the first two rains you don't drink. You don't want to use any of the water for drinking water. Even if you're going to filter, it's, don't. They said pass on it.
Well, T-Bar brings up a point for us. We're not far from AK Steel. So when it rains, we get steel particles in our water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to, especially if you have a shingled roof, because speaking from somebody, obviously, right up here, was roofing for a while, the particles of your asphalt shingles come out every single rain. Yep. And it's asphalt. Asphalt's oil-based. Do you really want to have oil-based in your water? Of course not.
No.
If you want to use rainwater, get you a nice barrel, a tarp, very clean tarp, and catch it that way. And you still, if at all possible, every water you get, you want to make sure you sterilize it as many times as you can that make you feel good. Boiling rainwater works. Yep. But don't drink off a roof if you don't have to.
No. And, if you ever looked at a deteriorating roof shingle, you can see all the fiberglass fibers in there coming apart as the tar-based stuff, the asphalt part of it deteriorates out from the sun. Yeah, like I said, any rainwater and stuff, it's if you're going to use it anywhere, it's for the garden. I would not feed it to I would use it to water the chickens or the goats or anything else.
Now that I do give it to the chickens, and from my metal roof. It's metal. Yeah, granted it's metal, but I give the chickens rainwater because animals out in the wild blue yonder, their stomachs are able to handle that kind of stuff. Like that's why you can feed your dogs raw chicken and they're fine.
Yeah,
they can handle that kind of stuff. They can drink out of a creek where you can't. We've lost that ability through the course of being civilized to handle not processing water.
Damn them pioneers anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the metal roofs are much better for collecting water, obviously, because you don't have all the stuff on it. The stone slate also doesn't have any of the oil-based stuff in it or anything else. The fiberglass particles, from the deteriorating stuff. But that is one way to make your water supply go farther by using it for the toilets. And, that's for sanitation.
Laundry.
Right, that's why I keep separate water for, I use old milk jugs because I don't trust them that they've had milk in it. And the plastic is pasteurized just as bad as the milk, in my opinion. So, it's that nasty HDP plastic.
Yeah.
And so I store water in those for using in the toilet. I use clear or food-based clear or blue jugs for storage water for consumption.
Yeah. My parents in 77 bought a double wide mobile home. We had that area underneath that mobile home almost completely filled with gallon milk jugs of water for the, in case of, having to use the toilet and stuff. We had a well, we had city water, and we had a well, but they were concerned, right, with the well water, we're going to save that for drinking, and we're going to use this other water for the toilets.
Yeah, you want to make sure you know the difference between potable water and non-potable water. That may be a military thing. A lot of people may not have heard that saying before, but potable water means you can drink it. Non-potable water, you can't drink it. So by having different ways, because you're going to need water for everything. You're going to need water to wash your dishes. You're going to need water to flush the toilet. You're going to need water to do your laundry, a multitude of things that you can use non-potable water for, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Tibor. So I found when I was putting in, if you saw my video, any of my videos when I was putting in the yard hydrants, I found the old well on the property here, the casement for it. And as I was digging around it, there are layers of cobbles and river rock and brown sand and a dark like lava base coarse sand in the ground around here. So, and the Snake River is about 15 feet below the top of where the well is, and the well goes down about 30 feet. So yeah, I have, there's a lot of, I talked to some of the guys in town, the old timers in town. Yeah, the well water around here is good, but the city, once they had the city water, they did the whole thing really, they figured it, hey, let's, do it while it's cheap. And they put a city water system in. So most people only use their well water now for watering the gardens, just to keep it clean and going.
That prepping with Nana brings up a good point about gray water too. There's the different levels of water. When you use it, say if you wash your clothes, that's gray water, or you wash your dishes, that's gray water. If you use it to use the bathroom, that's called black water. So those are also, terms you may not be familiar with that you want to be familiar with, just in case you want to recycle water. That way you don't have to keep constantly hauling water. If you've ever grown up, been anywhere, military, Boy Scouts, whatever, and you've actually had to haul your own water, you know the value of every single drop. So if you can get two things done with that one bucket, you're going to do it.
Yeah. When we lived in Arizona, we went and did some work on the plumbing of the house, and the only water that went into the septic tank during the summertime was the toilet water. All the other water from the washing machine, the kitchen sink, the shower, the bathroom sink went out onto the garden, and we just had a couple of valves we installed, and as we replumbed it there. Now, once the garden was done, all the water went into the back into the septic tank.
Yeah, you can totally reuse your laundry water, especially if you make your own detergent, just soapy water. You can use that for other things. I would obviously not put them on sensitive vegetables, but certain things that like tree roots, like your fruit trees, I wouldn't see why not.
Yeah. That was weird. The garden, even where we weren't, even where we watered it all evenly, where it was the greenest, was right over the septic tank.
Always.
I want to get
the septic field for my house is always, even if it's middle of July, hasn't rained in 31 days. That's the only green patch on my lawn is right by the septic well, the septic drain field.
Yep. Yeah. Now, back in California, on my parents' place, the greenest spot on the property was for the the milk barn and chicken house was, there was the whole hill there that the property, it wasn't much of a hill. It's just, maybe 10, 12 feet the elevation difference from one side of the property to the other, was all part of a sandstone knob. And this was hard sandstone. As my dad said when he was trying to dig with the backhoe, this is harder than a horse's heart. And but there was a little dip that went right underneath where the chicken coop was, and the milk barn, the slab that was poured for that. So where the cows were, all the fertilization there soaked through and underneath the chicken house and everything, and out into where the squash were. We could not harvest the squash fast enough because it was growing so big, so fast. And when my brother planted pumpkins there one year, he had pumpkins that weighed 50 pounds consistently, hundreds of them.
Yeah, people always ask what my secret was to having big tomatoes, and I told them chicken poop. I said, what? I said, yeah, you just go out to I'll do it. I can do it on video too, doesn't really matter, but I'm about to clean out my chicken coop, put it all in my raised beds, let it sit for about a month and some change, cover it with some more dirt, and that's what I use to fertilize my garden. Animal manure has been used for thousands of years, fertilizer, and humans too, when they make composting toilets. So just know what you're capable of.
Yeah, so, some societies, use human manure. They compost it out in the field, and they use it in the field and stuff.
What do you think they do in Afghanistan when on base they go over and they slurp out all the porta potties? What do you think they do with it? I've seen it. I've flown over the fields.
Yeah. Negotiator, it's Northern California, where my parents had their place. The town was called Martinez, and it's famous for two things: the invention of the martini and the invention of the lowrider car. Up the sewers, they use fields unless it's such it. Then they, yeah, I could talk about sewer work. I used to work for Mountain Cascade. They did underground construction, and for the city of San Jose, we're replacing some of their sewer pipes. Their mains were 60-inch pipes, and we put in 110-inch pipes, and we had to block off the other ones for 2 weeks. Yeah. We're not going to go there. It was an interesting day when we got to pull those bags and release it all.
Yeah, saw the comment about pond water. There you go, pond water for garden and fruit trees. Yes, for the most part, yes. The one thing I wanted to add though is I used creek water to do some of my stuff. However, one thing I was not aware of at the time was, since I do have a lot of oak trees around my house, the water is, they call it a black water river for a reason, because all the tannins in there darken the water because of the tannic acid from your acorns and your oak leaves. Well, that also acidifies the soil. So sometimes your plants that don't like acid may not like that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to throw that out there just in case anyone's hasn't really considered that before.
But if your soil is too basic, you need to add some acidity to it. It's perfect.
Yep. And if you have blueberries that love acidity anyway, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I've got a creek that's right next to me, but when it rains real heavy, the water's not usable in any shape or form. It's got so much debris plus other chemicals in it. But when it's, hasn't rained in a while, it's running about that deep. The water's actually almost usable as it is. I just boil it to make sure it's bug free.
Yeah, they call us the black water state, all the swamps. Contrary to popular belief, you need those wetlands. The wetlands are what clean out the the water system, especially when it comes down to your rivers and the estuaries and all that fun stuff. But I'm in between two black water rivers, so the spring runs behind my house. The creek, the all year long creek, is still black. Well,
Yeah.
black water.
When I was a kid, so I was in middle school. We used to ride our bicycles up and down all the contributaries to the Los Angeles River. Well, these contributaries, even up in the areas of Salentahunga and Upper Glendale and stuff, up right up to where the water came out of the mountains, were all concrete. Like, you saw the movie Terminator, where he's riding the motorcycle and the truck down through the Terminator 2 thing. That's the way they all were, and that's what we used to ride our bikes up and down with. And there was crap in there like that all over, and it was the nastiest water year round flowing down there, because all the runoff from everybody's sprinklers and stuff drained down into it. And so you want to talk about some nasty water, you're talking the Los Angeles River system and all its little
I wouldn't touch
thousands and millions of miles of contributaries. That is some nasty water there.
Sounds like the water in Flint and Detroit too.
Yeah, you want to watch out.
It makes that other water look good. I mean, it's, because you look at Los Angeles County, how big it is, and you look at some of the areas and stuff, and where all the water flows and everything into the Los Angeles River. The only time that's clean is after there's been major floods coming out of the Angeles National Forest, and then it washes everything clear.
Okay, the Detroit River is never clean.
Oh, okay.
I've been around 50 plus years, and that river's never been clean a day once in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Well,
might not be as bad, but trust me, the Detroit River's nasty. People who go swimming in there come out with birth defects.
even in rural areas like mine, you still got to pay attention to what's upstream of you, because all the farming, all the fertilizers, red tide doesn't just happen in the ocean. Like all the fertilizers and all the algae blooms that can run down the rivers can hurt your water too. So just pay attention to what's upstream. Cow farms.
Yeah. No, that's one thing I like about this area of Idaho. We're near the beginning of the Snake River, and everyone around here is so paranoid about keeping the river clean, because that's where they pull the irrigation from. The dairies and stuff, I mean, they make sure their pits and stuff are on the way away from everything, and they save that up till it freezes in the wintertime. Then they haul it out and put it on the fields for fertilizer. But they try to keep all the runoff contained all year round.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't automatically drink out of your rivers or whatever, or your creeks. I'm just giving you people ideas of things you got to watch out for. So you want to make sure that every piece of water that you drink, rainwater, whatever, you have a filter for, or you boil, at the minimum boil for protozoa and bacteria, giardia, that kind of thing. But when it comes to chemicals, boiling doesn't take care of those. Those are still going to be in there. That's why you want to make sure you have a charcoal filter as well. And your standard Brita is usually a charcoal filter. That's why you can't use a charcoal filter from a Brita in, say, a local lake and drink it, because it may get some of the chemicals or whatever out of it, the organic chemicals, but the protozoa and bacteria will flow through it. So you have to boil it as well.
All right, and Reed just threw up the horror story up there for us.
Well, of course. Always raining on our parade, man.
All right, so that's the beginning. There's the follow-up. So you got anything coming like from 3 Mile Island. I don't know if anybody remembers 3 Mile Island when it went back there in Pennsylvania.
Well, gee, thanks. Go ahead, because you know what? They're a botter. I'm actually on really good terms with my local sheriff's department. So congratulations, you didn't accomplish a damn thing. So thank you. You just actually helped make my case much better.
Who, what?
Boxsters, little help prepping. I swatted you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Because I already know them all. You didn't accomplish anything. Congratulations. You failed.
Yeah, big fail.
Don't mess with people you don't know.
Yeah.
And see, now that you've admitted it, and I've got this recorded.
Yeah.
Give a man enough room, he'll always hang himself.
And let me go take care of something else with him right now. Anybody else? Did I take him all the way out of all of it here?
Hey, Ryan, the game.
Don't delete him just yet because that'll remove his comment from the stream.
Okay.
Ryan, the gamer, where? What year was that?
Okay. All right. Yeah, Mimsy hit him too.
Because see, now if you block him completely, there's no way to go back and do a research. But that's okay.
There is. I'll just have my team back at DHS run a trace on him.
Thank you. So you mess with the wrong people.
Yeah. I better put my hat on, shouldn't I? Hello, Blotter. You screwed with the wrong guys.
And for those who thought I was BSing everybody when I said it happened, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Kim from West Virginia Prepared Mind also seen it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Mimsy.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, some of these guys they think, oh, he can't trace me. Well, the problem is because they were on YouTube, they left an IP address trail no matter what sort of sophisticated crap they use. Yeah,
it can be traced.
Oh yeah.
This ain't 1997 anymore. People figure out a way to trace back stuff because of child predators. You can't do this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's okay. I laughed. The sheriff's department laughed. The chief of the sheriff's department, the chief, he laughed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, that's why, a couple of weeks ago I was down there. I had a 2-hour meeting down there with our sheriff and his captain and lieutenant, and they're, so yeah, they're going to do the same thing that Seattle did, was put together a list of possible people to be, swatted and, have, special call-ups on it. So they don't even have to send people out. They just make a phone call. What's the code? What's the secret code word?
Thank you, Mimsy. My email is in my about page. And if you, I'll forward it to Gil from there.
So anyway, bad water.
Back to water, yeah.
Bad water, can cause all kinds of bad stuff that'll really put you down. So you want to make sure you're taking every precaution possible, because the best way to avoid being down and out from any kind of illness is to just be preventative in what you do. So same principle as having health issues. If you can nip some issues in the bud by changing your diet or exercise or whatnot, do it. Same thing with water. You have bad water, you have a possibility, whatever. Don't take any chances and do as many redundant precautions as you can there.
And if you want good information, I mean, it's 700 pages of information. And the whole water stuff we're talking about right now is covered in here in pretty good detail.
All right, hang on a second here. All right.
Here, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, Titan.
She on the towel. She heard something running across the back of the house. So now she decides it's time to play and scratch.
It's nighttime, that's why.
Okay.
As long as it's not my toes, I don't care.
And I just reported him to YouTube as well.
Oh, MOI, they are a felony in most states. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if Ohio's are yet, but in most states it is a felony now because it's happened so often. For a while there, it actually became a nationwide problem.
Well, not only is it a state for the states, it's also a federal crime now for 3 different basic laws. They slap them with these 3 immediately. There's 3 federal laws.
Man. Steve, you know that's just glorified tap water.
All right. So, guys, I'm throwing a link up there. This link is Blotter's channel. You can go there, click on the flag, and block him. So that way he can't comment on anybody's channel.
Thank you, Ryan the Gamer. I was wondering if it happened while I was stationed up there. I guess not.
Right. Grab this one here. All right. Okay. And that one there. I'll get the right link here. There we go. There it is. So everybody can, you click on that. You go there. He has no content. You click on the little flag where it says right next to subscribe on the right-hand side. First choice is block. Block him. Let me do that on this other one here too. I'm gonna block on my other channel as well.
And sure, the second I say, as long as she doesn't go after my toes, I'm fine. And she goes right after my toes. Dang cat.
Block user. There we go. Okay, so he's blocked all the way around for me.
All this water talk, I got thirsty.
Yeah. So I'll leave his link up there for another couple minutes so everybody can block him, and then I will remove that from the stream. Alrighty. One thing to plan for, going back to the Blackwater stuff, if you're having to set up, if your city sewer system, everything goes down and you're having to put in your own stuff in an emergency type thing, remember you need to have 1 inch of fall for every 10 feet. If you're going to put some sewer pipe in and go out and dig a hole and dump out there in that type of thing.
Well, actually, Reed had a pretty good video probably several months ago now. I'm sure you can post a link to it, where he has a shutoff valve for his sewer system, just in case, because obviously if something bad does happen and the sewer is no longer working, it's only a matter of time before it backs up and starts coming to people's homes and all kinds of nastiness. So he has a legit, large shutoff valve. He can go out there and literally turn it off, so his house is spared. So that might be something, if you're on city utilities, to pay attention. I'm on a septic, so it's not really bother me, but for other people, absolutely.
Yeah, my house in California, actually, the air vent before it goes into the house is about 5.5 feet above the street. My yard is a long slope towards the street. And then, so the manhole cover then is down half a block. But the neat part is, after that, it goes down for a dip where it goes under the creek. And there's a manhole cover down there. So it ain't going to back up to my house no matter what. There. Here, it's another story.
Yeah, just something simple to think about, considering, especially if you live in a hilly neighborhood or something where there's houses above you, you're going to be getting their stuff. So just know that and plan accordingly if that's something that you're really serious about.
Yeah. Lou, I can't pronounce. Olsnet. You can get a backflow valve for the sewer as well. It's basically a flapper valve. Most sewers are 4-inch. Some are 3-inch. So you're talking a 4-inch flapper valve. You got to go buy. Yeah, it's not something normally put on a sewer, but you can put one on there. Just make sure you have a cleanup valve, a clean out T on each side of it in case there's a problem, so you can flush. Under normal circumstances. Okay, I'm gonna pull that link out if everybody's done blocking him.
Yep.
All right. Remove. Boom. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, they don't normally put those on your sewer line, so you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, in Idaho, you can go with 3-inch if you have just one toilet. If you have 2 toilets, you got to do 4-inch. Which is funny because in California, most new home construction only requires 3-inch throughout the entire home and out 10 feet from the house where it goes then to 4-inch. And that's where they usually have a what's called a bullhead clean out at that point so they can do it. Oh, yeah, guys. It may be neat to be in the bottom apartment in a big apartment building so your water lasts longer. But the problem is if there's a problem at the city sewer.
Right, Steve.
All right.
Later, Steve.
All right, take it easy, Steve. You're going to have backup problems in an apartment building if you're on the ground floor like no other.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad now. Just because every 252 people above you decided to flush their toilet when there's no running sewer system, it just floods the first 2 floors.
Uh-huh.
Can't be that bad.
All right. Oh, I just thought about another topic. I mean, a part of the original topic to touch on. Compound fracture.
That only hurts a little bit when you move it.
In either a semi or full collapse situation.
Amputation.
I got the perfect tools for it.
Sorry, Timmy. We got to cut off your arm because you got a compound fracture. Can't reset it. That stuff can get infected quick.
Yes. And that's what I was thinking was infections.
Because that's why during the Civil War, they had so many amputations because they had mini balls and musket balls and they hit bone. They compound fracture and they couldn't stop it. So, bye.
Yeah. Once again, there's the book to have.
Sorry.
And here's the other thing too, along with that, try to make friends with a doctor in your area. I don't mean just as a patient. I mean as a friend. My brother, when after he got married and he got connected up with a family doctor, worked out deals with him, and 3 of his 6 kids didn't cost him a dime to have them delivered because my brother was doing landscaping at the time. He landscaped that doctor's house like you would not believe it. We poured concrete, we put patios in, we did outdoor lighting. Yeah. So, but having a doctor if you have a quote, a mutual assuredness group, prepper group, whatever you want to call it. Okay. If you have one in your group, you're going to be so much better off than a lot of people. if things do, if we have the proverbial poop hitting the fan or a end of the world as we know it situation.
Gil, the screenshot was emailed to you.
Okay, cool.
Just think of how many people have become so used to being able to order a simple X-ray to find out that it's a compound fracture.
Compound. What's this bone sticking out?
Well, not always, but I mean, like, it's basically one of those fractures that you could have your,
separated inside. Yeah.
This, and you have to run your hand down to feel it, and obviously the pain that's going to happen from that. But something as simple as an X-ray that we have now, we don't have that.
You wouldn't have to worry about it. You'd try to feel if you had a compound fracture on yourself, you'd pass out. You wouldn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you wake up, grab a fifth of JD or something and just drown your sorrows.
Yeah. Our dentist there, Dr. Schwartz, I've known him since I was 21. He was only several years older than me. When he started his practice was when I started going to him. And I've done so much work up at his place too. Just to keep him on my good side and make sure he gives me the double shot of Novocaine when I get a cavity filled. Cool, negotiator. You're better off than a lot of us. Yeah. I just thought of something that might work for helping detect. I'm not sure how well it would work. So if anybody knows, give me the thumbs up or the thumb sideways on this idea. Ultrasound. They have the portable ultrasound machines for pregnancy, doing stuff. Will that work at all for seeing if it's severe? It won't tell you if it's a hairline fracture, but it might tell you, whether it's a crush, or something possibly, I would think, because you have multiple pieces in there and it should show up a little bit differently.
Yeah, and they make those actually pretty portable now too.
Yeah, they roll them around on a thing. You could, put it in a briefcase and go.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Mama Z's.
That's a good. I know they use it for soft tissue, but I don't know about bones. I'm sure they probably have, the X-ray glasses you can get out of the old comic books that might work too. So give those a try.
Well, I got these X-ray spectacles on, so I can see, but
only 15 cents and proof of purchase, and boom, X-ray glasses.
All right. According to Tyler, ultrasound machines need recharge constantly with helium.
Crickets.
Later, Ron.
No, I read this one here. I got to put it up.
Night,
all right, Ryan. See you later. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to get out of here too. It's my bedtime. It's almost 11:30.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we've been a little over
hour and 45.
Yeah, hour and 45. So, guys, I think now's a good time to go ahead and cut it off. But before we go, one last shot at this thing here. So that's what's on the live right now on the website. And I'm going to throw that link up in there so anybody can go check it here. Give me a second here. And so here's the link for that. So, yeah.
You posted it to Facebook, by the way.
Pasted it to both. That's fine. It's good for everybody to look at it. But yeah. So like Dave said before, the red is what everyone's all major media saying this is where they're at. White is where they're saying they're not at. And blue, they're not reporting that there's a suspected there at all. They're saying that the major news
They have
outlets,
a possibility of one there, but they aren't confirming or denying.
right? But the mass media is saying, "Oh, no, that's clear." Yeah. So, Australian research that's in containing the coronavirus. So that's a good point there. Good for Australia.
Oh, they were the first ones to grow the bacteria outside of
China,
Wuhan.
yeah. That's your critical and stuff there. So, yeah. All right, guys. That's it for tonight.
Hasta luego.
Thank everybody for coming in and checking with us. And hope everybody picked up something and learned something somewhere around we covered a lot of stuff tonight. So, hope everybody picked up on that. What was that? Oh, T-Board talking about people over at Roy Lab. All righty. I'm going to go ahead. Come on.